Yeah. So here we are, April 10th, 2011. We were in the neighborhood, thought we'd stop by, and just wanted to talk with you for a bit. I remember when I was a little boy, my family, my dad, Elmer and Josephine, and my brother Dan, would come to visit you and your family at your home in Prior Lake.
In Prior Lake.
Yes. We remember.
You remember that?
Yes. We remember having some wonderful times with you and your family, living right there on the lake. I would go out on Prior Lake with Jim in his boat. He called it Lord Jim.
Yes.
Don't you remember that? And we'd go down the gully, down to the lake.
Yeah.
And you had a pier there.
Yeah.
And the pier would go out, I don't know, 20 feet, 30 feet out in the water. And I remember one morning, my dad went out with a fishing rod and reeled in a 22-inch northern right off the pier.
Yeah.
And we cleaned that up and had breakfast that morning. Fresh fish. Fresh as you can get it.
That would have been quite something.
Yeah. That was very memorable.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember when we got together?
I don't remember it happening, but I have been acquainted with the factors involved.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of time we had together at Grandpa's place in Gary, Indiana.
Oh, Gary, yes. Of course, he had that double, the double lot.
Yes. And he plowed up that second lot completely and made a big garden. Remember those big tomatoes he'd grow?
Oh,
those things they were big as our heads. It's amazing. And the big flowers.
People would stop by and and all the flowers.
They did.
Because he had some pretty good sized flowers.
Yes. He said it was because of that special manure mix that he had.
Well, he had some farmers or some people who had their deals, and he acquired their garbage or
their compost.
Compost.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That was quite something.
But I remember for Christmas time, you would have a video camera. A big video camera with the lights across the top, and you would take pictures. Back then, it wasn't called video then, it was called motion picture, a motion picture camera, or a moving picture camera. Yeah. And there were a lot of pictures that we had that we used to enjoy watching. So that brought back a lot of memories. Do you remember Christmases at the Millers in Gary?
Oh, yes.
Remember the tree always looked so big in the corner. But I remember thinking about it after the fact, and I think there were a couple of reasons why the tree looked so big to me. One is I was a lot smaller then. And the other reason is, and this just hit me the other day, I was thinking about that tree in the corner, and it wasn't really a big tree at all, but it was sitting on a table. It was a smaller tree, it was sitting on a table. And I thought, this is really a good deal because it made a lot more room for the presents underneath.
Yeah. Oh, we had Christmas in Gary.
Yes.
That was always. And then South Bend.
Yes.
And eventually we got tied up here in Minnesota.
I remember a big table in Grandpa's basement. We had a big table down there. It was like 2 or 3 ping pong tables. So it covered a big space. And Jim and I would go down there and set up a Lionel train set and motorific cars. It was kind of a racetrack for cars. And we set it up. It was all a miniature scale, but it filled the whole table. And so we had the Lionel train that would go around the outer perimeter of the table. And then we had the motorific car set in the middle. And from time to time, I or Jim we'd break something because we're guys. We just have a knack for doing that. And we knew that we could always count on you to fix whatever we broke. I always thought that was so good that we could count on you to fix no matter how much damage we did. We could always count on you to put it all back together again and make it work.
Yeah, those things did work. Then, of course, there was that era when you had a swimming pool.
Oh my goodness, yes.
In your...
in our backyard in Highland, Indiana.
Yeah.
And what did we do with it? We covered it all up. We covered it all up with many, many loads of dirt. We filled it all in so that Grandpa could plant radishes. Yeah, he plowed up our whole backyard when he moved in with us, so he could basically do the same kind of garden in our backyard that he used to do in his own backyard. So that was very fun. We had big tomatoes and cucumbers and carrots and hot peppers. He basically grew everything. It was amazing. We never ate so good. All that fresh food, fresh produce. It was a good, very good memory. Some of the best memories that we had was there with him. The last time Kim and I visited you, just a couple weeks ago, you had mentioned that you were thinking at the time that it would be really good if you could find some way to assemble things or to fix things. And I had been giving some thought to that, and I'm trying to think through that with you to see if there's something that we can do that would be helpful, something that you would enjoy, and maybe Jim and Jan would also have some ideas as well. So anyway, we've been giving some thought to that, and I don't know if you've given any more thought to it since we had talked last.
I haven't.
But we think that's a great idea. I mean,
done much thinking.
Okay. But that's a great idea, and I think we need to give that some more thought, and maybe we can come up with something that would not only be productive, but it'd be something that you'd really enjoy.
But then to think of the fact that here Barb and I are in this part of the world.
Sure.
Actually. And it's sort of a restricted area. But Barb and I have, well, we lived then Sophie, and we had our home there in Prior Lake.
I remember it well.
Yeah. And you and your dad would come, and your mother was involved there too. Yeah.
It was a happy time.
It goes
Well, I'm glad we had this time to talk. I'm really glad. We always enjoy our time with you, and I'm hoping that we've captured some memories here today that we can share with with Jim and Joan and Jan and Bob. We love you guys very much, and we're looking forward to seeing you again soon. Take care now. Bless you.